How we doing out there, YouTubers? Cyberneck Shark here with another new movie review for you. So let's get right into this movie review and see what's about. So the other day, I had the chance of watching a great CGI comedy film called Rock Dog. Now, Rock Dog is a film that was released in 2016. It was a computer animated film that was directed by the awesome guy named Ash Brannon. Now, Ash Brannon has actually been around for quite a long time. He really hasn't done very many actual, full-on directing of films, but he has been co-directors and he has been the animating supervisor and animating directors as well on films. He actually was the co-director of the awesome Pixar film Toy Story 2. He was also the animating director of Toy Story 1, which I found really interesting. He also was a co-director on the 2007 CGI film Surf's Up, which I found quite interesting as well. Now, Rock Dog, he did an amazing job with, I felt. I thought it was a really awesome, interesting CGI type of cartoon film that is a comedy. And this film has a really awesome cast. I was really surprised at all the big names that were in the film and doing voiceovers for the film. So, we have to start off with the amazing Luke Wilson. Now, Luke Wilson has been in a ton of films over the years, and he's very distinctive because he's well known because he's the brother of Owen Wilson, who we've known from a lot of films too. Now, Luke Wilson has been in some great films, such as No Vacancy, which is a really good film with Kate Beckinsale. That was a really good, horror kind of thriller film. If you haven't seen it, definitely check that one out. It's worth a watch. It's so good. He was also in the Drew Barrymore film from the late 90s, Home Fries, as well, which was one of his earlier roles. He also has an awesome, kind of cameo in the second Scream film, which I found funny. He's supposed to be Billy Loomis's character in the Being Made For movie about the whole thing that happened in Scream 1. He's just awesome, though, but he lent his voice, and it was an amazing voice. He gave life to the main character, and it just, you could tell it was kind of Luke Wilson. At the same time, you weren't sure as well. So he did a really good job at giving it a voice and just, making the character who he is in the film. And he does end up playing the actual main character in Rock Dog. He plays the main dog. We also have in the film, J.K. Simmons did a voiceover of the film. Now, we all know J.K. Simmons from such Oscar-winning films as Whiplash. He also was J. Jonah Jameson in the first 3 Spider-Man films. That was with Tobey Maguire. Now, J.K. Simmons, I pretty much love him in any film he's in. And he really brought life to the main dog's father's character. And he just was all around hilarious. All the lines that he was given were just so funny. You're laughing on the floor. He always makes his character so amazing, and this was no exception. He did the same thing with this CGI character and brought it to life. J.K. Simmons is just awesome. I love that guy. I think he's cool. We also have in the film the awesome, the hilarious Eddie Izzard. Now, Eddie Izzard has had a long run in doing stand-up, and he's done a lot of stand-up specials. But in movie and media, he's been in a few cool TV shows and movies over the years. And a few of those ones that I feel that are most, well-known, the My Super Ex-Girlfriend with Luke Wilson, which he plays an awesome, funny villain in it. And he keeps always saying, "Don't call me Richard." And you're just like, what is he saying? Why is he talking like that? And his character in that is just so hilarious. And you're just like, it's so funny. And you just, you're laughing your butt off because that character is so funny. But then you also had him as a special character, and he had like a few episode arc in a great TV show that was canceled, unfortunately, and that is Hannibal. He was awesome in that, playing one of the victims and one of the interesting characters in the show. Because that show was just amazing, and it was so sad after the third season when they ended it. And but his character in that was really awesome. But he is so funny in this film simply for the fact that he plays a cat in the film. He's supposed to be like this super groovy, like cat that, you know, he's this huge music producer slash like icon, and he's having a hard time coming up with new music. And his voice was just so perfect for the look of this cat. And so it was such a great performance. Absolutely loved it. Thought it was hilarious. Also in the film, we have another awesome actress that does a voice in this, and that is Mae Whitman. Now, you might recognize Mae Whitman from her role as the second George Michael Bluth love interest in Arrested Development. She was actually in that show as the second person version of the girlfriend he had. She also was in the awesome feature film The Duff, which was a really good movie. I thought that was awesome. I wish it had gotten more recognition for how good it was. But yeah, The Duff is a really good movie. If you haven't seen that, check that out. It's so funny. Great cast. Another voice talent in the film is the awesome Sam Elliott. Now, Sam Elliott's voice has been so distinct over the last 40 years that he's been in, you know, acting and doing his films. And you always, that big burly voice, you always hear it as soon as you're like, oh, that's Sam Elliott. I love that guy. But Sam Elliott's voice is just amazing. It has that big baritone voice, and you can always tell, you know, because it's such a, like I said, a unique voice. But his portrayal in the film is really amazing. He's kind of the storyteller in the film, and he's just an amazing actor. I mean, you can see from such films as The Old Writer and Ghost Rider 1 with Nicolas Cage. He also was in a great, awesome 70s movie called The Legacy, starring his current wife, and they actually, I believe they met on the set, you know, when production was getting in, and that's how they blossomed their love, and they actually ended up getting married a few years later in 1984, and they've been together ever since. But they were so good in the movie together. But that's a really good horror movie if you love horror movies. The Legacy. Check it out if you haven't seen it. It's so good. All right, we also have another amazing voiceover artist in this film. You're probably wondering, who could it be? Who could be the other awesome voice? Would you like to know? Would you like me to tell you? I will. Ready? It is Jorge Garcia. Jorge Garcia, we all know from the TV series Lost. He was one of the big characters. He was pretty much on it through the whole series. He was really great in that series, and he brought real life to his character in the film. He was also been in a few movies over the years. He was actually in one of those like kids films called Unaccompanied Minors. He brought a lot of great flavor and a lot of great, you know, voiceover work to this character. It, you know, made the character well-rounded, and it was a great voice. And like when you first hear him, you're like, that voice kind of sounds familiar, and then you're like, holy crap, that's Jorge Garcia from Lost. I'm like, wow. I'm like, that's awesome. And he just made the character so awesome. And I just feel like all the characters in this, you know, movie were just amazing and fun and just all around awesome. And he just brought a lot of great flavor to it too. I mean, it was really good, his voiceover work, just like everyone else in the film. But anyway, so if you're not familiar with the film, The Rock Dog, the premise is, it's pretty simple. So basically what the film's about is this dog wants to become a musician. He's not supposed to be a musician because his dad told him that he's supposed to be a guardian because that's what they did. That's what they do to keep their town safe from the wolves. And so basically the rest of the film is about him going to the city trying to become a musician and then coming back to try to save his city, his town, and still be a musician at the same time. So it's a really interesting plot. I really liked it. I thought it was really fun. I thought Ash Brendan did a really good job. For his first full-on directing, effort, I thought he did an amazing job. I thought it was just fun all around. Interesting animation. It reminded me a lot of how Madagascar looked. And so I feel it brought a lot of great flavor and a lot of great animation to this film, that kind of Madagascar look. And it kind of, as you're watching, you're kind of like, oh, I kind of want to watch Madagascar now. So, I mean, it's a great movie. Really fun. Giant 10 golden movie boxes up on this one. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Worth a watch. It's on Netflix. If you get a chance, it's just a really good cartoon movie, a CGI animated film, and fun for the whole family. Such a great film. So that's it for this review, guys. As always, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. And as always, please look out for any new or older videos you might not have seen of mine yet. And as always, please leave your comments down below if there's anything you'd like to see reviewed, or if you have an idea for a different type of video. I'd be more than happy to oblige. And as always, see you in the next one.